a Schilpario per la 4x5, la gara di staffetta mista Under 23.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FIS Cross Country Junior and Under 23 World Ski Championships 2025 Bergamo, Schilpario, Italy, ready for the very last competition of this World Championships that will take place in less than 10 minutes. We will have the mixed relay category Under 23.
Ora diamo il benvenuto anche alla giuria di gara.
And we want to say thank you again for the last time to the jury members.
Il tecnico delegato della FIS.
FIS Technical Delegate.
Gregor Mali. Il tecnico delegato, l'assistente tecnico delegato della FIS.
The FIS Assistant of the Technical Delegate. Jury member.
Mitri Colomeias, l'assistente tecnico delegato nazionale.
Thank you also to the National Assistant of the Technical Delegate. And thank you for the chief of competition. So here we are almost ready for the very last round of this World Championships. In 8 minutes, about 10 minutes, we'll have the start of the 20 nations represented in this under 20 category. So 80 competitors. We've got Canada, France, Sweden, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Norway, Finland, USA.
Welcome to Schilpario in the Italian Alps. It's day 7, the final day of the FIS World Championships for the under-23s. Big contrast to what we've seen this week in the Italian Alps. The sun has vanished behind this heavy, thick clouds, and we've had snow and rain so far today on the course. That's eased off just a little bit, which everyone will be pleased by, but most people taking cover in between the two races. We saw the juniors earlier on, and it is the under 23-year-olds going off
ragazzi, bravi, complimenti a tutti, bellissima edizione dei mondiali. Bravi.
in just a few minutes' time. Hopefully the snow will hold on for another hour or so. It's been fabulous conditions here in northern Italy this week. We cannot complain at it feeling slightly more wintry as we conclude things. Well, this is where everyone's hiding right now. It's warm in here and pretty cool outside, but the Italians celebrating a bronze medal in the junior race earlier on today. Just over 4 minutes to go though before we start the elite class of the juniors, shall we call it. Norway taking gold again in the junior race this morning. Stunning results for Norway this week. It really has been a brilliant games for Norway. last little bits of prep are being concluded by the starters. We have 80 athletes racing today from 20 nations, all by 5 kilometers. Each athlete will ski 2 loops of the 2.5 kilometer loop. The first 2 athletes, first will be male and then female. The first 2 will do it in the classic style. The second 2 going off freestyle. The technicians have a much bigger job today, getting the classic kick wax just perfect. Germany struggling this morning on the first loop. Drop back, Germany really, the skis just icing up in this tricky snow. Bib number 5 is Noah Naff of Switzerland. Here is Tabby Williams of Great Britain, had a personal best yesterday. Stunning result. 19th place, having just stepped up. She's one of the youngest in the field in the under-23 category, having raced at junior last year. 21st, I think, last year, and the year before in the junior category. 19th this year, having just made that step up, is a pretty impressive result for Tabby, and she's going for Great Britain, heading off second today, behind Gabe Gledhill, who we'll see in just a minute in the British suit, who will be doing the mass start, the first of the classic legs.
So not easy for the athletes and for the service staff members to prepare the skis above all for the first 2 legs that will be given classic. And,
2 minutes to go before they will call everyone to the grid. Well, they've been called, but they'll be made ready for the gun. Canada, the current holders of this title, having won in Planica last year. France second, Sweden third. That's the running order, the bib numbers for today. Great Britain down in number 16. Watch out for 13. There's a little competition going on between the Brits and the Aussies today. 20 teams in all, 80 athletes, 4 in each team. Bib number 1 then, representing Canada. It's Thomas Stephen who will go off first. Yasmin Drolet, Max Holman, and then Lilian Gagnon, who is a double medalist from these games, going last. France, who got silver last year. Calderini Cullet going off first for them. And Sweden's Anton Gran, well, what a start he had to the week, winning that sprint gold. Elias Keck of Germany will go first for the German team. Noah Naff of Switzerland doing the mass start for them. And then Italy's David Gio in bib number 6. The Italians getting a bronze medal in the junior race just an hour ago. Norway, though, wearing bib number 7, Molstad, who has had 2 medals this week, none of them gold, but a silver and a bronze medal. Stalberger of Finland, alongside the United States, Michael Earnhardt. Kasahara of Japan.
Poland, number 11, Sebastian Briha.
Briha of Poland. Azerbakov of Kazakhstan in 12. Hinkfuss of
Hugo Hinkfuss.
Australia will get the Australians started. Rosie Fordham going second for Australia.
Number 15, we've got the
14 is Ukraine. Yuri Tuz of Czechia in 15th. We just caught sight of Gabe Gledhill in 16, but we've run out of time. We need to get the race started. That's what we're going to do. 20 Ks of racing ahead of us. It'll be around about an hour or just over for the winners. It certainly was a slow course this morning for the juniors. The track's looking a little better now that the rain has stopped, but it will not be quick, that is for sure. No ice out there to speak of. a hard slog, really, for everyone. First to the bend, I think it's Sweden, who are making a little break to get to the top of the first hill in position number 1. Norway back in about 8th position right now. Further back, actually. They're not going to be worried at this stage. A long, long way to go. It is Sweden, Anton Gran of Sweden, the winner from Tuesday. It was the men's under 23 sprints. Anton Gran, one of the emerging stars of the Swedish team, racing on the World Cup this year. Edvin Anger, the big star of Norway, a junior actually. Edvin Anger could be racing here this weekend, but given that he's second overall in the World Cup, both in the sprints and the distant category, it has been decided that there is already enough weight on the massive shoulders of that young man from Sweden. Anton Gran here, the other star from Sweden, who has proven himself to be well, certainly a decent sprinter. Struggled a little in the 20 on Thursday. Set the early pace and then just fell apart as the race progressed and ended up, I think, down in about 14th place. Today, much more of a sprint, really, so we're expecting a lot from the Swede. And they're a little under pressure, the Swedes, because their big rivals, probably it's going to be Norway-Sweden. If you look on paper, at least, at what the athletes racing today have done already in the last 6 days, it is a Norway-Sweden battle on paper, and it's pretty close, actually. Well, 1 or 2 people looking like they have got the glide wax bang on. One athlete at least has moved ahead of Anton Gran of Sweden, and probably relishing the opportunity to create a little gap. Not struggling too much on the uphills, but usually it is, I think it's Norway who already made their way forward. Caught sight of Gabe Gledhill going around that bend there, still in the pack. We're only about 1,200 meters into the race, so everyone more or less still together. I think it's Norway-Sweden now. That's my prediction. As the camera will drop down to ground level in a second as we approach the 1.3 kilometer checkpoint, and we'll just confirm that it's Norway who are out in the lead, looking like they've got the glide wax element of their classic skis correct so far today. 3 minutes and 17 done, long enough for the lactic acid to start building up. It is Norway in first place, with France in second, Sweden in third, I think it is, and Canada sitting, Thomas Stephen of Canada sitting in 4th place, just ahead of Germany, and then Finland behind the Germans. 2 by 2 as we head up the track. It's probably, to be fair, the last time we're going to see them 2 by 2. By the time they come round here next time, I'm predicting in these tough conditions, the cream will rise to the top, and the pace will become fierce and difficult for everyone. Well, Gabe Gledhill racing for Great Britain in the mass start here. Part of this pack in around about 10th place, I think. And courageous of Gabe to go as the mass starter. He's a good technical skier, but probably a little better in the freestyle. Nevertheless, Britain deciding to go strongest athletes, male and female first. There's Britain just off the back of Japan, with the weaker athletes going later. That's the same strategy, I think, that Australia have employed. They sit just behind Great Britain right now. Australia with a silver medalist from yesterday, as you'll be aware, Rosie Fordham taking that brilliant silver in the 10. She will go off second today. Silver medal in the freestyle 10, goes in the classic second leg, first of the women. And there's a little competition going on between Great Britain and Australia. I understand, chatting with the Brits, some results from the week that we've just seen were ceremonially burnt, creating what they are calling the ashes. which now form a little pile of carbon that are much more precious than they look. And the winning team between Great Britain and Australia will get to take the ashes back to their home country to be handed over in 11 months' time for that competition to repeat itself again at the Junior World Championships, which is a lot of fun. So that's good. At the moment, it is Norway who are pushing the pace. This is Thomas Molstad. Silver medal yesterday in the 10K. Bronze on Thursday in the 20-kilometer classic mass start race. Norway taking the gold that day as well. And that is Mathias Holbeck, who is in this team. The Norwegian A team today. They're the favourites, to be fair, to win today. Sweden definitely in with a chance, and Anton Gran just working hard. We saw there the tall athlete, youngster from Sweden, making a name for himself in about 7th place. Norway, though, pushing the pace at the start. They've got 3 hills. They've finished all 3 of them on each time around this 2.5-kilometre loop, before they ski through the stadium and then repeat that loop once again. It's France out front, Germany in 2, Norway 3, I think it's Italy in 4th place, and possibly Finland in 5th. It's Sweden, I think, back in 6th. That looks like the tall figure of Anton Gran. It is Finland and then Sweden. Switzerland in behind Sweden and Canada, 1 place further back. Well, the gap has opened up between Great Britain's Gabe Gledhill at the back of this pack, with no orange hat on today. Usually makes it easy for us to spot him, but Gabe there. What do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 12 athletes. I think Gabe is in 12th place, coming through the stadium for the first time. Doing well to stay with the leaders. 10th place for Great Britain, so 10 athletes in the first 4 seconds coming through the stadium. At the moment, Great Britain in the lead against their fierce rivals, the good friends that they have in the Australian team. Gabe, so far so good, looking strong in the classic style. 2.5 kilometres done. First loop of the first leg. It is Norway once again leading the way, with France in 2nd, Germany in 3rd. That's Italy in the blue suit alongside the other blue suit that can confuse us of Finland. Sweden are there as well, but I expected Sweden to be sitting on the shoulder of the Norwegians, the way the French are right now. Anton Gran maybe just easing himself into this race. I get the feeling, though, that a little gap indicating that's not actually happening. There's Anton Gran. Now he's running outside the tracks, short, choppy steps. I think, there he is. This is indicating that I think the skis are giving him a problem. I wonder if they have the same challenge that the Germans had an hour or so ago, where the wax was building up underneath the ski, forcing you to just run steps rather than glide. And Anton Gran struggling already now as he comes around the top of this little hill. And if his skis are balling up, if the ice is building up underneath the middle of the ski on that kick wax, then he will lose even more time, as he sends himself down the hill to try to stay with the pack. We are about 3 kilometres into this loop, just over, and already it is being strung out. We've got 5 in a little bunch, with, I think that's probably Switzerland in 6, trying to maintain contact. USA are in 12th, Australia down in 13th. The gap now to Australia about 5 or 6 seconds at least. There's Gabe Gledhill stepping round the corner. I think he's back in about 9th place right now. The young Brit who had a personal best yesterday in the 10K freestyle. 20th place. Good result for him. He will hand over to Tabby Williams in about 5 minutes' time, who will also, despite the fact that I think she favours the freestyle technique, she will go second, and the second of the classic style legs, in order to stay with the pack, putting the two best Brits first, and then the strategy is to hang on. The pressure, the further back you are, is much greater and tends to force people to struggle to relax. It's Norway in bib number 7, in position number 1. Behind them is Germany. Alongside them, a little slip from, that is Italy's David Gio in bib number 6. And we've got France also with this group. Finland just desperately trying to stay with the pack. Well, I said that by the time we reach this point the next time round, they would not be side by side doubling up on the track. And boy, Norway have really strung out the field. There's Gabe Gledhill looking good. He's got about 3 kilometers to go. Currently in 9th place, 17 seconds off the leaders. But in the top, well, within a few seconds of the top 6. A top 10 result for Great Britain would be good today. Anything better than that would be sensational. Sweden now down in 10th place, 8 seconds off the pace of Great Britain. Australia nearly 15 seconds down on the Brits, so Gabe racing well. That's hard to say. Once we get down to the last 2 athletes for Great Britain and Australia, they're reasonably evenly matched. The gap, therefore, by the time Tabby hands over, will have a huge influence on the final outcome. There's Nadine Laurent of Italy, bib number 6. This is Norway's Anniken Sand. She's the only member of the Norwegian team that hasn't medalled so far this week, and well, probably making her all the more hungry to go away with gold today. She'll probably get a medal for sure. At the moment, you wouldn't bet against it being gold. Germany now taking the lead. They struggled this morning, ended up in 5th in the junior category. Problems with the kickbacks for the men early on in the junior race. But this is looking really very good from Elias Keck. Strong, powerful glide, looking fit, looking like he can easily maintain that very quick tempo. Rounds the top of the hill first, ahead of Norway, I think it is. All the work done now. The hills, at least, of this 5-kilometer loop. I think it's Norway and Germany out in the lead, with Italy and France, I think, just behind them. It is. Germany looking like they're going to come through the stadium in 1st place. Thomas Molstad of Norway. There's not a lot to be gained, actually, by pulling out and going ahead of him, unless it's for kudos. But he does increase the pace. That will mean that Anniken Sand will lead out if he goes ahead of the German. And at this stage of the race, it may make sense for Anniken Sand to just be able to sit in behind Verena Veit, who will go next for Germany, and let someone else do the work. There's Anniken Sand in 7. In 6 is Nadine Laurent of Italy on the left, just moves out the way of the Germans. And a little bit of traffic, as is always the case, coming through these handover zones. The athletes quickly removing their poles out of the way to protect them. Norway won, Germany and Italy, with France in 4th place. Finland now get away. already the gap not insignificant, just over 15 seconds. Here's Tabby Williams coming through. That was a really fabulous result. Great race for Great Britain as they come out of the handover zone in 6th place, just behind Finland, Czechia and Canada chasing them now. Tabby Williams had a fabulous race yesterday, so she'll be feeling buoyed by that wonderful result, the best of her career so far. And she does have a lot of competition just behind her. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tabby just drop back. It would be wise, a good tactic actually, for Tabby to deploy at this point. Get away quick, get started, and then possibly allow one of the other athletes to come through. It's a 4-team race now for the first 4 positions, with Finland desperately trying to close the gap. They had a good result this morning, ended up down in, I think it was 4th, having been in 2nd for much of the junior race. Tabby is just a little further back behind Nora Kataja of Finland. Here's the handover. Oh, and a very unintentional little obstruction by Thomas Molstad of Norway. Not making it easy for Verena Veit to get out and started, but quickly makes up for that. She went off the course, but that will not be held against her. Evasive action, let's call it. Norway 1, Germany 2. It is Italy in 3rd place, and France, Italy and France fighting it out for the medals behind Norway in the junior race earlier on today. Once again, we have Norway, Italy and France in the top 3, with Germany joining them this time. They didn't have any medal success earlier on today in the junior race. Norway double poling hard on this downhill section. The balance between glide and grip in these classic races, especially in these temperatures around about 0, where there's a lot of water around, it does become a little bit of a lottery. Now then, let's see, how are Sweden doing? They are in bib number 3. It's Elin Henriksson now out on course for Sweden. Anton Grant, the gold medalist from day 2, the first of the male medalists in the under-23 category to take a gold from these games. Well, it has not gone well since Tuesday for Anton Grant, and handing over some way off the pace. I'm just going to check, actually, I missed it earlier on. Let me see if I can find that on my split timings. Well, it looks as if Sweden handed over. Well, actually, my split times are clearly not correct, so I won't even bother mentioning them. It suggested that Sweden were only 2 seconds down on France at the handover, but that is wrong. And of course, I did inadvertently then mention them, but ignore that. Sweden are way off the pace. We know that's the case. Now they have a lot of work to do now. A year ago, Sweden were in bronze medal in Planitia. This year, they're way down in about, I'm guessing it's going to be about 9th or 10th place. Great Britain now down in 7th. Canada have just come past them, and the Swiss athlete, that is Alder of Switzerland, just coming alongside Tabby in the blue suit with the orange flashes on the arms and legs. That's not exactly the chase group. The chase group is made up by one athlete from Finland, Nora Kataja, trying to close the gap, trying to give Finland once again an opportunity of getting onto the podium. It was close this morning. At the moment, Finland need to close the gap. It's not far. It would be worth at this stage if she can. Nora Kataja just putting in an extra little burst to get onto the heels, the back of the skis of the 3 teams that are out in front. France, Norway, Italy and Germany. Tabby looking good here, managing to stay with Canada's Yasmin Drolet and with Switzerland's Fabian Alder. Currently sharing, if you like, 6th position. Sweden 13 seconds further back, and Czechia just behind the Swedes. Do expect the Swedes to regroup and make up for some of the poor start that we're seeing here. We're 20 minutes into this race as the first of the athletes conclude the second of the two hills on this 2.5 kilometer loop that they ski 2 times each. One more hill to do before they go through the stadium. And already a little posse of 4 out in front with a decent gap back to Finland, 5th place. Come over the bridge. Little man-made hill here, which they ski under the earlier section of this 2.5 kilometer loop. They will now swing around to the left and head up the hill. Anniken Sand of Norway just going the long way around to try to come into first place on the first time up this hill. It's France in first, Norway in second. France double poling longer than the Norwegian, which might be an indication that the kickwax is not good. This looks good though from Nora Kataya. Strong, powerful 2-phase kick and glide up the hill. Long glide. Sometimes the price you pay for good grip on the hills is slow skis on the downhills, and get one of those 2 elements wrong badly enough and you have no chance of staying with the leaders. Little posse of 3 down in 6th, 7th and 8th position. They're just getting sight of the leaders. You can see where Finland are. Nora Kataya still off the pace. Actually, the gap has increased, I think. Germany in 4th. It's Italy in 3rd. The French, who are last year's silver medalists, sitting in silver medal position behind Norway, who did not get a medal at these games 12 months ago. The elite junior world athletes, under 23, the very best in the world, many of them, certainly many that you'll see appearing in the medals already, part of the senior World Cup squads out on the World Cup course, taking a little break from those races and in advance of the World Championships, which are happening in Trondheim in Norway in about 2 weeks' time. Competing here in northern Italy in Schilpario, the very last race today and the last race of these games. Norway lead the way. France are in 2nd, Italy are in 3rd. Germany just sitting comfortably there in at the back. They've done 7.5 kilometers of the 20 kilometer distance that they are skiing as a team today. Finland 6 seconds down on the lead group. Tabby Williams leading the chase group of Switzerland, Canada, and of course Great Britain. Britain in 16th bib number, which therefore means any position above 16th at the end of today would be sort of a seeded success. This is Marta Rosenberg going last for Sweden. 2 gold medals this week have come in the distance race on Thursday and the sprint race on Tuesday. Both of those classic, but Rosenberg being put on the anchor leg for Sweden, which is not classic, of course, it's freestyle, but she is clearly a strong contender should it come to a sprint finish between Sweden and Norway. They have so much work to do though. Sweden, they're way off the pace, not even in sight of the lead pack, not even inside the top 8 as it stands. Just trying to chase down 7th place, which is probably Switzerland or Canada, sitting in behind Tabby Williams of Great Britain. Here's the lead pack though. It's now starting to become 3 as France are struggling to stay with the increase of the workload that Norway's Anniken Sand has decided it's time for. Italy staying with them though, and Germany, Marina Veit of Germany, the third of these athletes. There's Sweden just starting now to catch sight of the chase pack. Oh, a little slip from Tabby as she comes up the hill. Most of them will go into this herringbone technique to get over the slight little rise that appears on the first of these hills on the 2.5 kilometer loop here. She's just dropping off the pace a little, Tabby, as we see Canada's Yasmin Jourlet increase, just press down on the gas pedal a little. Tabby struggling to stay on par with the pace that Canada are now setting. Here's bib number 3 for Team 7 of Norway. Another of the Norwegians here in Schilpario this week that already has 2 gold medals. Gold for Mathias Holbeck in the 20k on Thursday, and gold yesterday in the first of the freestyle races, the 10 kilometer time trial. Norway are anywhere near the front when he sets off. Well, according to my list at least, if Maren Skogland, who's a sprinter and a silver medalist from day 2, if he's nowhere near the Norwegians, then not sure really there's anyone out there that could match Mathias Holbeck. Norway now in first, and another little gap, another chink appearing. Here is Martino Carolo, who got a bronze medal yesterday for Italy. He goes off, the first of the skaters for the Italian team. They are in second place at the moment. The only medal Italy have won this week in the individual races in the under-23 category is Martino Carolo, bronze yesterday. So they did get a bronze medal in the relay for the juniors this morning. Can they add another medal to the home championships here? France now looking like they are having a little bit of difficulty with the grip wax, and no glide to speak of on those skis. Little slip there, so doesn't look like they've got great grip either. That's such a shame for the French as they start to drop off the tail now of the Germans. It is Norway with Italy just behind them. Enough of a gap to indicate that Italy's skis are not quite so quick. Sweden have come past Great Britain and have gone into 8th place, I think it is. Canada still leading that little group with Switzerland behind them. Sweden's Elin Henriksson, a sprint bronze medalist this week, making use of that form that she showed earlier on in the week. And Tabby just about hanging on and staying with Sweden. Germany now, no, they're in 3rd place.
Well, that's the situation where we are very close to the extreme.
About 2 minutes to go before the third of the Germans will get away. This is Marius Kastner in bib number 4, leg number 3. There's Tabby, moved past again, past Sweden's Elin Henriksson. That's a good sign. Come on, Tabby, we're rooting for you. Britain currently in, I think it is 7th place. Just starting to lose track, but Norway clearly out front now. And Norway's Anniken Sand wants a gold medal from these games. Doesn't have any medals to speak of. Well, none at all to speak of or otherwise from Schilpario. She is making absolutely certain that her 2 teammates, both of which already do have medals from these games, are going to have every possibility of just skiing a well-paced time trial as opposed to a tactical head-to-head race as we approach halfway now. Anakin Sand out front, you can see just a massive variation on the quality of the skis as well as the way that that hill is negotiated by the athletes at the top of the hill. Italy chasing Norway down into the stadium. The gap is going to be about 100 meters. Anakin Sand looking strong coming through the stadium. When she comes around the bend, the gap will be big enough for her to be able to see way back to Italy's Nadine Laurent, the last of the classic skiers in today's mixed relay. Here comes Laurent in blue. The gap is around about, well, between 50 and 100 meters now. So Norway looking comfortable. Mathias Holbeck holds up his hand to indicate that he's the one she's handing over to. Annika Sand hands over. No one else in the handover grid, as there's no one else within 50 meters. First of the freestyle legs are underway, then it's Norway as predicted. The double gold medalist from these games, Mathias Holbeck, next to go for Italy. It is Italy's only medalist from these games in the under-23 category. And that is Martino Carollo. Chasing him out is Germany's Marius Kostner. And then we have France, Mathieu Blanc of France, and representing Finland, it's Nico Antola, hotly tipped as the rising star to replace the likes of Niskanen in the future. He's still a young man, but regularly called upon to race at World Cup level. A medalist from this week. Tabby has lost touch with the chasing group. Switzerland, Canada, Sweden. Tabby around now about 5, 6, 8 seconds off the pace. And just about to finish her race. She's going to hand over in 9th position. And at the moment, decent margin ahead of their big rivals in today's race. The mighty team from Australia. Those Ashes up for grabs. The best of the two. Nice technique from Italy's Martino Carollo. Being chased now by Marius Kastner of Germany. Carollo, a medalist yesterday, took the only remaining medal once gold and silver had gone. Both of those medals going to Norway, Holbeck and Molstad. Molstad first to go for the Norwegians today. Holbeck out on course as we speak. Well, here's Canada, Switzerland and Sweden. Great Britain down in 9th place. They're 18 seconds up on the American team. American fielding a strong team. It's Will Koch of the USA going 3rd for the Americans. And, well, to be fair, Great Britain, James Slyman is probably not a match for the American. Will Koch, the son of the famous Bill Koch, a silver medalist, Olympic medalist for America. And wonderful to see Will stepping into those shoes, big shoes to fill, but I know Will Koch really, really inspired by what his dad achieved and looking to simply achieve the very best that he can for America. Well, he's likely to come past Great Britain, I suspect. Here's Italy now in 2nd place. Technically strong, lovely, choppy technique, powerful, effective, Nice long glide on that trailing leg. Breaks into skate 2 at the top of this hill. Not many have been able to do that this week. Norway, another strong technical skier. Mathias Holberg. Germany are chasing the Italians. Marius Kastner just behind them. Representing France is Mathieu Blanc. They have a silver medal from earlier on today in the junior race. And here's Germany just coming around. France 4 seconds or so behind them. I think that gap has closed slightly. And Finland now sat on the tail of the French athlete. Well, we're over halfway now, 36 minutes into it. We are halfway round the first loop of the third skiers, the first time into freestyle. Here is Mathias Holbeck of Norway. The gap big enough for Holbeck to just think about his own race, his own technique, his own pacing. Clearly someone who knows how to pace well these distance races. Well, anything over a sprint these days considered a distance race. 5 kilometers, very quick, very short race, about 15 minutes-ish. Here comes Italy now, looking strong. The Italian is a good technical skier, Martino Carollo. He's a regular member now of the World Cup squad. Will be racing in Trondheim in 2 weeks' time for Italy. Antola, I think it is, Nico Antola of Finland, now decides if he's got anything that he can use. This is possibly a good time to start using it if he wants to close the gap on the medalists. Some way ahead is Norway. In between Norway and the chase pack is Italy's Martino Carollo. A big gap though. The Norwegian will see him as he rounds the bend and looks back. We can't see him. He's just coming into view now, so Mathias Holbeck will see what sort of gap he's got, be able to estimate without getting information from the scoreboard as he skis past. Won't need to look round to look at the time. Glances over at Carollo just to spot check where are 3, 4 and 5. Italy comfortably as it stands in second place. Haven't seen Sweden for a little while. Måns Skoglund of Sweden out on the course right now. Silver medalist from day 2 of these games in the sprint. Marta Rosenberg, the last to go for the Swedes, but unlikely to be handed at this stage a position in the race where she can turn it into a medal. It is Finland out front. This is Nico Antola. He has a silver medal from these games in the longest race of these games, the 20K. That was classic. He's racing freestyle today. Look at the speed now that Norway's Mathias Holbeck is skiing up that hill at. He's working hard. You can see the tempo. Holbeck can just make out that he's breathing with every stride here. He's working very hard, not leaving anything to chance now, not taking any risks with the Italians. They have Gismondi, medalist in the past, not this week, but she's medalled at Junior World Championships before. She is going last. Finland, it looks closer, but that's a decent gap between Italy and in a similar suit behind them, Finland, with France and Germany getting a toe behind Nico Antola. Antola looking supremely relaxed, so comfortable. He's a tall, Finnish, strong athlete. Mathieu Blanc of France looks to me as if he's working at max and slightly more ragged technique. Germany's Marius Kastner rounds the top of this hill for the last time. He's got 2 more hills to do. Pushes off hard to try to just create a little momentum to get on the back of the skis of the French athlete. Needs to relax for a moment. One of the few places where he can suck in some more oxygen. We're not at a particularly high level here. It's about 1,100 meters. Noticeable, but by the time you've been here for 3 or 4 days, you're likely to have acclimatized well enough for it not to be an issue. Well, leg 3 of the mixed relay in the elite junior class, the under 23s. It's Norway out front. It's Italy once again chasing the Norwegians, as we saw in the junior race earlier on today. Italy fighting again for another medal position. Norway are about to lap one of the later starter teams. This is Matthias Holbeck, double gold medalist from these games already, just catching up with Matteo Salma of Argentina. No lap rule in this race, everyone being allowed to finish, not having to pull out, and that's a good response actually from Matteo Salma of Argentina. If he can hang in there with Matthias Holbeck even for 30 seconds, that will help with the Argentinian race. Still looking strong for Italy. Martino Carollo, the gap has not closed. Nico Antola of Finland set off, moved to the head of the chase group to try and close this gap. But with this sort of a margin, well, he's really strung out that chase group. Germany are now struggling a little bit. France, I said they were looking a bit ragged. They're not going to manage to stay with Nico Antola. Finland now becoming a little more comfortable in 3rd place, with France down in 4th. Leonie Perry going for France on the last leg, and Maija Tainen of Finland also, she'll go out ahead of Perry. Last time around the top of this hill, 1 more hill to ski before they cruise back down to the stadium. Norway's Matthias Holbeck about to ascend the final hill of his championships here in Schilpario. Without doubt the most successful team, most successful nation in Schilpario this year, behind Sweden, who in the women's field at least, largely thanks to Marta Rosenberg, who will go off last for Sweden today, a 2nd place as a nation for Sweden. Norway, though, the out-and-out stars of these games. Norway failed to get a medal in this race last year. They actually failed to get a medal 2 years ago out in Whistler. It was France, Sweden and Switzerland that year. Sweden, though, unlikely as it stands. I don't think Marta Rosenberg, even Marta, has the ability to close such a big gap on the 3 medal positions. Italy currently hogging still silver medal position. The locals getting most of the encouragement from the crowd that are out on the track. So Norway's athletes have almost finished. Here comes Matthias Holbeck. He'll hand over to Eva Ingebrigtsen of Norway. She has a silver medal from 3 days ago in the 20-kilometer classic mass start race. 60-odd athletes set off in that female mass start race, and Ingebrigtsen came in 2nd behind Sweden's Marta Rosenberg, who was the favourite to win that day. Ingebrigtsen, though, had no idea, to be fair, when she set off, that she would be a silver medalist that day, and as a result of that great result has got a start in the relay. Into the handover zone come Italy. Martino Carollo, a good performance from him. Well paced, beautiful race from the second of the Italian men. Hands over to Maria Gismondi, Italy in second. Finland now with a little gap in third place. Finland with Maja Tainen. France, what's that, just over 6.5 seconds back from Finland. Germany struggling. Last to go though for the Germans is Helen Hoffmann, and this is the gold medalist from yesterday. A gold for Germany in the under 23 time trial freestyle race, and Helen Hoffmann understandably picked to anchor the German team in this last race here in Schilpario. Here comes Italy. Well, they've got a lot of work to do to stay ahead of Finland, and certainly to stay ahead of Germany. Don't put it past Helen Hoffmann there. Well, that's not her, that was Leonie Perry of France. We'll see Hoffmann appear in just a moment, I think, and Hoffmann, as she comes up this hill, she will see where the medal positions are. This is silver for Italy. Lots of encouragement from the support team. Italy's Maria Gismondi looks back to see what the job is that she has to do. She's got to stay ahead of Finland's Maja Tainen, and she's got to stay ahead of the star from Germany, the only gold medalist from Germany this year, and that is Helen Hoffmann. But my word, that is a big gap. Hoffmann would have to do something astonishing, I think, to close down on the Italians, and I think it's still a big ask to even get into the medals with such a significant gap. The most relevant gap, though, to talk of today is between Norway's Eva Ingebrigtsen and Italy's Maria Gismondi, who is in second place. Ingebrigtsen, silver, just yesterday. Actually, it wasn't yesterday. No, she was silver in the 20k mass start on Thursday. And that was classic. Today, she's been given the honour and the opportunity of doing the anchor leg for Norway. Now here comes Marta Rosenberg. The difference that she is going to have to make up today to get anywhere near those top three positions. Just having a look to see what my laptop tells me. The split times. I think Sweden. No. Apologies, but unfortunately the split timings coming out of a damp Schilpario are not correct. So really not worth me bothering with. We'll just have to rely on what appears in the graphics right now. Unfortunately, I can't give you the split timings for that big race that's going on further back between Great Britain and Australia. The main race, though, today, it's Italy in second place, chasing down a stunning performance from Norway. I think chasing down might be a little bit of an overstatement, actually, because there will be no chasing down now at this stage. 48 seconds down on Norway. The race shifting so much more now to just protecting that silver medal and going one better than the juniors from Italy did this morning with that bronze medal finish in the under-20s. Here comes third place as it stands. It is Finland's Maja Tainen, and just behind her, a relaxed-looking Leonie Perry, to be honest. Here comes Germany's Helen Hoffmann. The gap has closed a little to Hoffmann. She has set her sights on Leonie Perry of France, who's just up ahead of her, and certainly a possibility of Germany making up the gap that has opened up in this race.
Time of Finland and France that are competing basically together.
Well, Eva Ingebrigtsen adds her name as it stands to the famous name of Ingebrigtsen in Norway. About 3 kilometers to go for Eva. She comes down the hill. Probably she will now just catch a glimpse of Maria Gismondi. Here she is. They will pass one another on this bend, and Eva will be mightily relieved to see that the whole of that hill now is what separates them. That's not what is on the mind of Maria Gismondi at the moment. She makes her way up this hill. Ingebrigtsen through the stadium. She'll get the applause of a team who will start to relax as they see it likely. There they are on the left, just at the end of the athletes' enclosure by the tunnel here. Here comes Helen Hoffman. She's made up the time on Leonie Perry. The gap closed pretty quickly actually in the last kilometre. So Germany slowly making their way back up towards those medal positions. It's Italy in silver medal. It's Germany now, I believe, unless I'm confused by something. I think it's Germany already now into bronze medal position. Her sights set on the next podium position to somehow be grabbed by Germany. Surely that gap too big. The gap between Germany and Italy. Here comes Italy into the stadium. Actually coming through the stadium now, and already past the handover zone. It's going to be huge. It is a decent gap between Italy and Norway, but I think surely the gap back to Germany now, even for the great Helen Hoffman, way too big against someone of the quality of Maria Gismondi. Here's Australia in the green suit. Couldn't quite work out, I can't quite work out where the Australians are compared to the Brits. It's the last leg athletes racing now in the mass start mixed relay here in Schilpario. France just tucking in. Leonie Perry doing the wise thing, having been caught by Helen Hoffman of Germany, doing the wise thing now of hanging in there behind Hoffman, letting Hoffman do the work. And I really couldn't say which of them, I can't remember which of them are the best sprinters, but Hoffman leading the way with Leonie Perry of France tucked in behind her in 4th place. Potential sprint for the finish, the last medal of these championships up for grabs. Norway likely to take gold today. Italy likely to take the silver medal with Maria Gismondi. Helen Hoffman though, and Leonie Perry chasing hard. And well, Leonie Perry was left behind, left standing by Maria Gismondi, who looks strong to me. I don't think any of these first 2 positions are going to change. Gismondi of Italy getting the love from the spectators. We are in Italy. We expect the volume to go up as the Italians come through the stadium. Here is Germany being paced by Leonie Perry of France in 4th place. Helen Hoffman, one of the, well, she was the last of the seeded athletes yesterday in the 10 kilometre time trial. freestyle time trial yesterday. She set off as the last seeded athlete and managed to ski her way into first place ahead of Rosie Brennan of Australia, who sat in first place for about 12 minutes. It was wonderful to watch, and Rosie Brennan delighted with a medal at these games, didn't expect one, and goes away with a silver. She will be already finished, having done the second leg for Australia. Rosie Fordham, I kept calling her Rosie Brennan. Of course, Rosie Brennan is American, racing on the World Cup, forgive me. It's Rosie Fordham. Sorry, Rosie, you have the silver from yesterday. Rosie Brennan, of course, not here, too old to compete in these games. Noah Bradford of Australia will have finished his race, and Isabella Moon going last for Australia. And we'll try and find out how is Isabella Moon holding up against Great Britain's Elke Hammerstein for the coveted Ashes in this year's World Championships. First time Britain have been able to field a team against Australia. Norway are out in front. The gap way too big to see the first two positions change. Silver, here's Australia coming through. That's Isabella Moon there in the green suit, possibly about to be caught actually by Maria Gismondi of Italy. Both the British team and the Australian team going quickest to slowest in current form, and so Isabella Moon unlikely to match the pace of Maria Gismondi of Italy as she comes alongside her between now and the last of the hills on this loop. We can see Norway now are approaching the final climb in their race here in Schilpario. Norway's Eva Ingebrigtsen about to add to the gold tally from today's races that the junior Norwegians took yesterday. Well, impressed to see Leonie Perry managing just about to hang on to a strong, very strong looking Helen Hoffman. I'm guessing that, judging by the body language, Hoffman may well pull away, but she had to work very hard earlier on in this race to close the gap on third and fourth, set off fifth at the exchange. Norway set off first. Eva Ingebrigtsen has done nothing wrong, has had the luxury of skiing a time trial in this mixed relay, given the honour of going in the anchor leg. She has a silver medal from this week. Jürgen Schomburg of Norway, one of the Norwegian male athletes, also has a medal for Norway, but not featured in the team. The standard's so high that Schomburg, despite being a medalist this week in the sprints, didn't make the relay team. And only one team from each nation allowed to start today. 20 nations competing, 80 athletes still out on, well, I guess it's 20 athletes out on the course as it stands, but 80 athletes competing. Here comes Italy, a very, very strong looking Maria Gismondi. She powers her way up the last of the hills, up towards the last bend. It's France in third now, having moved ahead of Helen Hoffman on that downhill section. This is Leonie Perry looking strong. Now, did Helen Hoffman burn too much of the power that she brought into this race? In the first part of this final leg, she had a lot of work to do to close the gap. Certainly will have been on max to catch up with the French athlete. We'll get back to that race in a moment, but once again, as we saw about an hour and a half ago, it is Eva Ingebrigtsen of Norway who takes the Norwegian flag and is greeted by the rest of the team. Molstad, Anniken Sand, Mathias Holbeck and Eva Ingebrigtsen of Norway take a second gold medal in the second of today's races, the very last race here in Schilpario. Well done to Norway. And a particular well done to team number 6, Italy. This is Maria Gismondi coming across the line. What a brilliant, brilliant result. This is the first medal they've had in a couple of years. Didn't feature last year on the podium or the year before in Whistler. And Italy get a silver medal to add to the bronze that the junior athletes got earlier on today. It's a fight for the finish. It's France versus Germany. Who is going to take the only remaining medal of these games? I think it was Germany. Hoffmann just, I think, proving too strong. Well, the body language from the Germans suggests they know, despite the photo finish, that it is confirmed. Germany take the last remaining medal of these games. A very disappointed France in 4th place. Leonie Perry did everything she could to fend off the German. I think it was a good move from Perry, about a kilometre from the end, to go into 1st place and try to just take some of the sting out of the muscles and the lungs of the German. France, though, having to settle for 4th place, a silver for the juniors earlier on today. Now it's a fight between Switzerland and Finland for 5th and 6th. I think the Swiss athletes are going to go home with at least a 5th place today. They do indeed. Marina Kalin from Switzerland, from Pontresina, about 100 kilometers north of here, comes across the line in 5th with Finland down. Maija Tianen of Finland in 6th place. Well, now we are waiting for the other big story of these games, the huge competition between Australia and Great Britain. The competition for those coveted ashes, which were created last night in a little ceremony where they burnt the results from the week gone by. Italy, though. Listen to the crowd. Of course, the majority here of the spectators are locals, Italians from around the northern Italian Alps. Marta Rosenberg, who started the week looking just supreme, out skiing the field by a huge margin in the sprints on Tuesday, comfortably coming in gold on Thursday in the classic mass start race over 20 kilometers, and the Swedes having to just settle for a 7th place today. The big hope of Anton Gran going first for Sweden faded before the first loop was completed. Here comes Canada. They were in gold last year, and so Lillian Gagnon, who has 2 bronze medals from these games and is wearing bib number 1 to indicate last year's position. Gagnon crossing the line inside 4 minutes, down on this team from Norway.
Lillian Gagnon was the Canadian team, twice bronze medalist, both in the 20K and 10K. Well done by the Canadian team. 9 nations have crossed the finish line.
Well, Gabe Gledhill and Tabby Williams of Great Britain featured well early on in the race because the way the conditions have strung things out considerably today. The slow, wet conditions here making the gaps bigger and bigger as the race went on. We've sort of lost touch really with the competition between Great Britain and Australia. I think last time through the stadium, though, there was a decent margin with Britain in the lead. And right now, it is therefore Elke Hammerstein of Great Britain up against Isabella Moon of Australia. Of course, you'll appreciate why that matters to me. The more important version of the Ashes up for grabs. Understandably, though, the massive gang of Italians in Winners enclosure here. Almost everyone in this enclosure. It might as well be gold for Italy today. It might as well be a win because we're in bib number 6. The Italians not expected to feature. It's their first medal for a couple of years. They were not on the podium last year or the year before in Whistler. Canada, France and Sweden, last year's medalists, all off the podium this year. France, Sweden and Switzerland, medalists back in 2023 in Whistler. None of them on the podium this year. Well, this is a good sign. Well, look at this. Here comes Elke Hammerstein of Great Britain. She comes through the finish. And Great Britain are going to get a 10th place behind the United States, who we missed in 9th. Great Britain are going to come through in bib number 16, Elke Hammerstein, with a brilliant result. Great Britain in 10th, and the relatively small contingent of supporters for Great Britain out there, thrilled with that result. Well, here we go, a little recap of today's elite junior mixed relay race. Norway easily taking the gold medal. From the word go, it looked as if the red suits were going to be on the top of the podium once again. For a while, Germany featured, and with France up there with them. The Italians, though, moved into second place behind the Norwegians. By the time we got onto the skating legs, despite the fact that Norway had a huge margin ahead and maintained that through the whole race, coming across the line in first place for a second gold medal today in Schilpario. The juniors from Norway taking gold earlier today, and the senior juniors, the under 23 elites, taking gold for Norway this afternoon. Well, nice to see so many Union Jack hats there being worn by the Brits as they celebrate their win today, the coveted Ashes trophy that has been contracted between them and Australia. Will travel back to the United Kingdom for 12 months.
Japan, that ends the mixed relay after 1 hour 6 minutes and 8 seconds.
Australia with success yesterday in the 10-kilometer time trial. Rosie Fordham taking silver, and no success today for the Aussies. Italy, though, halfway through the race today, they positioned themselves behind the Norwegians. The gap did open up, but so did the gap backwards, back to the Italians, the French and the Germans, and the Finn Ashleys. Italy taking a very, very delighted silver medal. The home nation thrilled with second place today, behind Norway.
Con la produzione video di Nereo Bulci, la produzione MG di Mario Lovallo, il regista Giacomo Steiner. Un grazie va naturalmente anche a tutti i componenti di questa crew, di questa squadra: Nereo Bulci, appunto, Leopoldo Righi, Cristian Gnola, Emilio Modio, Giuseppe De Vecchi, Luca De Vecchi, Gianluca Dragucci, Andrea
Kazakhstan, Maria Gerashenko ends the race The mixed relay folk is actually in the 40th position. Palome has just mentioned all the names of the members of the production of World Championships.
It's been quite a day for Germany. They had a lot of work to do. The start was good. Germany right up there. The first of the German athletes proving himself to be a worthy choice for the mass start, Elias Keck. We're in a beat of Germany, a little incident, no harm done and nothing intended, but Germany slotting into 4th place as the race went on, but that place was lost in the 3rd leg with Finland's, I think it was Nico Antola, it was there in the blue, who came through. Both Finland and France coming across the handover into the last leg ahead of Germany, but once again it was Helen Hoffman who set off in 5th or 6th place, I think it was, at the handover. Slowly made up the difference. Well, actually fairly quickly caught up with Finland, and wasn't long before she got past Leonie Perry of France. Perry played a canny game and sat in behind her, and it became a sprint for the finish. The Germans, though, taking the last of the medals available today. Bronze goes to Germany. Italy took silver, and Norway once again in gold.
Altra conclusione con l'Ucraina che va a chiudere. Il finale di Ucraina è di molto superiore al tempo del video, 12 minuti e 30 di Olimpico.
Bravissima, brava!
I went round all the people on the side and I said, you've got to cheer the Brits. They were all cheering James Bond.
17 lezioni da fondo. Ancora 2 formazioni.
GB, let's go!
sta per chiudere il Cile, per chiudere in 18ª posizione.
Forza Italia!
Elias, bronze medal for Germany today. It's so well deserved. Oh, are you happy with this bronze?
Yeah, for sure. It's so great. I think we had a good team and we made it.
Verena, was it a special tactic for you today when you start the race?
Oh, I just tried to keep the group and go with them and do my best. Yeah.
Maurice, how will you celebrate this podium with your team?
I think we will go home today, this evening, but maybe to evening we will see us and then we celebrate, and yet afterwards also. Yeah, we will see.
Ellen, one more time on the podium. Are you happy with that? Are you happy to share finally a podium with your teammates?
Yeah, I'm very happy to have the gold medal and now the bronze medal with my team. Ja.
Can you say something in German now?
Ja, ich denke, wir sind auf jeden Fall alle sehr froh, dass es zum Schluss dann doch nochmal so gut geklappt hat. Ja.
Ja, die Helen hat sich heute zur Sprinterin gemacht, war richtig geil.
Congrats, thanks.
So we are happy for her and we're satisfied for Greece that comes to the 18th position with Constantino Karalampidou that ends the competition for Greece. For her with Anastasio Gastis and Selevita Simon Giorgio in sole finals. So we are waiting for the last team that is coming to the finish line. We have not Brazil at the start. So in total we have 19 nations. We should wait only for the runner of Chile.
Thomas, gold for Norway in junior, now gold for Norway in under 23. Was it a special tactic for you today when you start the race?
Well, I wanted to get rid of as many teams as possible, but yeah, so I wanted a hard race and we had good skis, so in the end I'm pretty happy.
And you can use your first medal in these championships. What was it to compete under the rain?
It was very fun. I like this kind of weather, so I enjoyed it.
Matthias, 2 gold in individual, now it's a gold with the team. Is it a special one or is it the same?
Yeah, it's a special one. We saw the juniors and we need a gold, so we get it.
Eva, one more time on the podium for the championships. Now it's with the team. How are you going to celebrate that?
With the longest travel home ever. But it will be fun with these guys. It's so fun to stand on the podium together. Yes.
Kan dere si noe på norsk nå?
Ja, nei, det var sinnssykt artig å konkurrere sammen, og jeg følte at alle sammen leverte skikkelig bra etapper hver for seg i dag, så det var artig å gå ut med litt forsprang, selv om det er nervepirrende uansett.
Tusen takk, congrats. Beautiful race once again for Italy, a new medal. How was it? Was it a special Italian tactic today?
Yeah, today it was a really special race. The relay, it's always fantastic because we race for we are a team in a relay, and so it's always amazing. And then here in Schilpario, in Italy, with this incredible crowd, it was special.
Nadine, you took some inspiration from the junior today to get this medal now?
Yes, the junior are so amazing and inspired me and all the team. We thanks all the Italy for cheering us today, and thank you all.
Martino, another medal for you today. How is it to have this public behind you now celebrating?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's not so. Yeah, it's also nice for me, the second medal, but it's more special in front of home fans, all the team. It's yeah, a fantastic way to end this championship here in Italy.
Maria, finally a medal for you here. What are your emotions? What do you feel right now?
I'm really happy. Today was a really good day, finally, so I'm really happy for my team, for myself, and it's beautiful.
Can you guys say something in Italian now?
Forza Italia!
Grazie a tutti quelli che ci hanno supportato questa settimana, è stato fantastico.
Grazie a tutto il Team Italia per la fantastica esperienza qui a Schilpario.
Grazie mille, gasatissimi come sempre.
Grazie, grazie.
No, smonto proprio allora. Ok, Fatto le seconde staffettiste, partita dunque per la
And Verena fights their loss a little. And gives the change to Matthias Holgam, Norway, the first.
Attenzione perché Finlandia, Francia e Germania in questo momento sono insieme, dunque c'è un terzetto all'inseguimento dell'Italia.
That they gave up in this moment, and it seems not possible for her to catch the other two that are fighting for bronze medal. But what an incredible action we have seen by Maria Gismondi, who was able to recover her position in seconds on the German.
La cerimonia di premiazione.
So very soon we'll have the award ceremony of the mixed relay and then the closing ceremony.